A house catches fire and spreads next door, where a 12-year-old boy playing video games late at night is to thank for getting everyone in his family out safely.
I hear like a pop, so I look outside the window and I see like fire, like the light of a fire. So I'm like, maybe my neighbors are having a fire.
He ran outside to see what it was, then back to his home to wake up his parents.
Yeah, our neighbor's house caught on fire, and then the wind was blowing towards our house, so then it caught our house on fire.
Their Columbia, South Carolina home was destroyed.
So our house, it's a complete loss. There's nothing left but one of the rooms in the very back.
An environmental activist was arrested after a protest at Paris's Musée d'Orsay. The activist pasted a poster on top of Claude Monet's poppy field painting. According to the group Riposte Alimentaire, the poster depicts what the field would look like after it's been ravaged by flames and drought brought about by climate change. The museum has not commented on whether or not the 151-year-old painting was damaged. A teenager was arrested after police say he was spotted with other vehicles driving around in donuts. Officers spotted a Dodge Charger in the midst of the dangerous driving activity. Dash camera video shows the driver attempting to get away after police tried to pull them over.
Since I'm 17, I can't call my parents.
No, not yet. You get a call in 1 second.
The 17-year-old was arrested and charged with fleeing and eluding, along with reckless driving.
Behind these walls lurks a menace that's been tormenting a Pittsburgh family for 13 long years. There's an alarm clock stuck inside the wall, and it goes off every night at exactly 7:50 p.m. Jerry and Sylvia Lynn tried to make the best of it.
Why haven't you had it removed all these years?
No need to. It's fun. It's a great conversation piece when people come.
Just how that clock got into the wall is kind of a wacky story. Jerry was installing some cable for his TV set and wanted to locate the right spot on the wall to drill a hole. Jerry tied the alarm clock to a string, and his plan was to drop it down this air duct so the alarm would go off and the sound would let him know where to drill a hole, except the string broke.
All of a sudden, the string went loose and I heard it go thunk.
Oh, geez.
You thought the battery would last how long?
I thought 2 or 3 months.
Are you cleaning your house all wrong? Lifestyle expert Marissa Brainy has some spring cleaning tips that will have you saying, I didn't know that.
I like to spray and then walk away.
Let the spray sit for about 3 minutes. Did you know your cleaning products actually expire?
Most last about 2 years before they start losing their effectiveness.
What about laundry?
Did you know you actually should be washing not just your pillowcases, but also your pillows? There is so much bacteria and allergens and all of that that builds up actually inside the pillow.
Is there a right way to actually load your dishwasher?
Here's what works the best in terms of silverware. You want to make sure that the forks are actually facing up when you load it. Spoons, you want to alternate every other so that they get the most clean.
Knives down, forks up. Wow.
People on a bus in San Francisco were getting a surprise. It's actually a going away present from an artist who just wants to say thank you to his adopted city. Danny Bloom is a photographer who's lived in the city by the bay for the past few years. He'd met a whole new group of friends and he was working as a photographer. He gave all the credit to San Francisco.
When I first met you, I was shattered. I knew I needed sunlight and a change of pace, but I will forever be humbled by the love, joy, and peace that you brought me.
Family is what's pulling Bloom back to the East Coast. He decided to leave thank you notes on city buses with examples of photos he's taken there. He had no idea how his project would be received. Bloom says he hopes to return to San Francisco someday. He's already cooking up his next project.
I was really looking for a way to get people to enjoy photography that wasn't just on their phone or on a screen.
A baby deer cries after getting stuck in a fence. Police in Glen Rock, New Jersey were called to the home to free the animal. And she quickly runs off without saying thank you.
Emily Perna from West Virginia is warning parents about baby mirrors after her close call.
I pulled in, parked the car, got out of the car, went to get my son out, and then I noticed his car seat was smoking. It happened very, very fast. It was very small. It almost like it started almost like a dust, and then it just kind of got progressively worse. It didn't turn brown until I had him out of the car on my hip, trying to unattach the mirrors, when it started turning like brown, and even like some, like there's like 2 spots, it's like black too. My first thought was, there's smoke, get him out. Then it was, okay, it's coming from the mirror, I gotta unattach the mirror. So then once I unattached the mirror, I almost really just couldn't believe it happened. I just want other parents to know that it is a possibility.
Balloons float away, never to be seen again. Sure, it happens all the time, but attached to this bunch? Janessa's high school graduation gift from her dad. Janessa had just graduated and was taking pictures with her friends and family when the balloons floated away.
Well, he told me that he had a card in there and he wrote stuff in the card, and that he put money in there because I'm trying to save for a car.
Whatever he wrote in the card is something. You know what I mean? That's special. And she was hoping that she would at least get to see what he wrote.
Janessa's mom, Erica, posted a plea on Facebook asking for people in their Luzerne County, Pennsylvania neighborhood to be on the lookout.
It's just really heartbreaking. I mean, I have a video where we're making light of the situation. We're laughing.
I wasn't laughing.
She was not. She was crying. What else can you do? I mean, lesson learned, hold on tightly to your balloons.
A bear, seen with an old metal milk can around its neck, has finally been set free. The Vermont Fish and Wildlife Department was called in to help by a concerned citizen who believed the bear was in distress. Neighbors say this bear had been spotted with the metal around its neck for several weeks. The team set up a humane trap in order to capture the bear without injuring it. Once caught, the bear was tranquilized.
Here, if you grab even pliers maybe.
While the bear was under sedation, the team worked to cut the metal circle from around the animal's neck. Once free, the bear ran off into the woods after it woke up from its medically induced nap. This is an MMA fight no one expected to see. A bobcat used his swift paws to put the smackdown on a rattlesnake. This happened in Arizona's Saguaro National Park. Officials there believe the wildcat was trying to get a morning snack, but didn't expect his breakfast would fight back.
It was her dream wedding at a beautiful resort.
Kiss your bride.
Now it's time for the magical first dance. They've rehearsed just for this moment. They know just what to do, a daring backflip to wow the crowd. Then it happens. Her dress flips upward, exposing her bare behind to astounded guests. Oops. And here's that bride today, Amanda Scheller, and yes, she's still blushing.
Things happen and we were having a good time.
Talk about the bride being over the moon. When a mother has a seizure on the street in front of her daughter, a Milwaukee bus driver stopped to help.
He's down again! He's down again!
Michelle Mixon took the child on the bus and comforted her while an ambulance was called. Other passengers tried to keep the girl's mother comfortable until paramedics could arrive.
Anybody have anything to put on her head?
Mixon stayed with the terrified 6-year-old the whole time until her mother was stable. Mixon has been driving for the Milwaukee County Transit System for 21 years and said this incident was the most emotional thing she's been through on the job. But she was still glad she could be there to help. Home surveillance video shows a cat thwart a kidnapping attempt. The cat's owner says he got an alert on his phone that someone may have been lurking around the front of his house in Lincoln, Nebraska. When he checked out the video, he saw this girl make an attempt to swipe his 8-year-old cat, Mo. But as you can see, Mo wasn't going to go willingly. First, he tried to escape the girl's grip, But after she ran to a waiting car with him, he was able to break free and return to the same spot on the porch. The homeowner gave the video to authorities. Lincoln police say they tracked the 17-year-old girl down and referred her to the county attorney for attempted larceny and trespassing charges. Mo's owner says he's relieved the cat was able to get away and that he was savvy enough to know where home really is.
Cherries seem to play a part in President George Washington's legacy, and the newest discovery at his former home just won't let the legends go. In the cellars in Mount Vernon, Washington's Virginia plantation, archaeologists uncovered glass bottles filled with cherries and fruits.
12 bottles had cherries, 16 bottles had berries, and the last bottle had mixed cherries and berries.
Researchers found the bottles accidentally, as Mount Vernon is undergoing a $40 million restoration project. Archaeologists believe the bottles were placed in storage pits in a cellar, which was then paved over with a brick floor. Mount Vernon was also home to hundreds of enslaved men, women, and children. It was likely they were the ones who picked and then preserved the fruit.
There is a lot of information that we're excited to get from these bottles, and they can tell us a lot about what life was like here.
I am a child marriage survivor in the United States.
My abuse started at 13, and then I was passed from one man to his friend, and that friend abused me for about 3 years, and then I was forced into a marriage to him. He was an adult for the entire duration of the abuse.
I was just a scared 17-year-old girl who had been manipulated and groomed.
Brittany has used triathlons to bring attention to forced and underage marriages in the United States.
I'm going to run, swim, and bike 3,000 miles to raise awareness about child marriage. I want to do everything that I can to end this human rights abuse. I absolutely believe that within my lifetime, we can end child marriage in the United States. These kids deserve to be protected.
To watch the whole story, click below or go to InsideEdition.com.
It's the Tickle Me Stingray video 100 million people have watched of a guy tickling the sea creature. And it actually seems to be smiling. Do the stingrays really enjoy being tickled? We asked Joseph Gemilaro at the Long Island Aquarium.
It is not safe for the animal at all because of the fact they're animals that belong in the water. They breathe in the water. If you have them on land for too long, they're going to have issues that are based off oxygen depravity. The stingray sting is extraordinarily painful, so it's not something you want to deal with.
So it may seem cute and harmless, but these guys really aren't laughing.
Powerful stories. Impactful investigations.
How many times has your car been stolen?
5 times. Yeah.
What?
And a little bit of fun.
Your spear's in the pool!
On Inside Edition streaming.
In the middle of nowhere, along a basically empty road, a car plows into a police officer's patrol car. This is the mangled mess showing just how badly damaged the vehicle was. And here's what it looked like from the inside. The officer had pulled over to help a driver whose car broke down here in Colorado. That's when another car was headed right toward them. The officer tries to get the driver to slow down, and as it looks like the car wasn't moving, the officer and the other driver get out of the way as the car rams right into the patrol car. The crash is now being investigated by Colorado State Patrol.
Police officers in Palm Springs are looking after the family of a fallen colleague.
Good morning. Look, all your uncles came to take you to school this morning.
8-year-old Vanessa Vega went back to school after suffering a tragic loss. Her father, Officer Jose Vega, was killed while responding to a domestic dispute. He and Officer Leslie Zarebny were shot and fatally wounded. The officers he worked with know the family has been going through a tough time and wanted to let Vanessa know she has another family in them. Police cars and their flashing lights drove Vanessa to school.
You let us know if there's any bullies at school.
Officers walked her all the way to her 4th grade classroom to meet her teacher and her friends. The officers say they will continue to support the Vega family, and Vanessa can call on them anytime she needs something, whether it's a shoulder to cry on or a ride to school.
This girl is trying to catch a fish by dangling some bait off a dock in the Florida Keys. Bad idea. Watch as a really big tarpon jumps out of the water and takes not only the bait, but almost the girl's entire arm. And don't worry, she told Dad she was okay, just a little freaked out. And who can blame her?
You okay?
They got my whole hand.
I think I got them on camera.
When an alligator needed to be removed from a ditch in Texas, they called in a grappler. No gator or person was harmed in this transport.
Look who's talking. Stella may be a dog, but she's able to tell you exactly what she wants just by putting her foot down.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Her owner, Christina Hunger, a speech pathologist, created this customized keyboard with 29 buttons for 29 words, like outside, play, beach, and her favorite place, park. Christina says her 18-month-old precocious pup is now talking or stepping up a storm. Sometimes combining 4 to 5 words in a row. In other words, speaking in sentences. She's even responding to questions.
You wanna go outside still? You wanna go to the park?
Her least favorite word?
Definitely inside. She likes to be outside and she likes things to happen now.
A restaurant manager is being hailed as a hero for spotting what she said were signs of child abuse. An 11-year-old customer was sitting with his family at the Mrs. Potato in Orlando, Florida.
When the order came to the table, I observed that the boy was denied food. The man told me that no, that was everything okay, and the boy was okay, and he was gonna have his dinner at the night at home.
She noticed a bruise on the boy and created this secret sign to ask if he needed help.
He nodded yes.
She called 911.
A long table filled with empty plates. Just look at this boy's sad face. Little Teddy turned 6 on Sunday, all by himself. His mother, Sil Mazzini, planned a great big pizza party for him, but it didn't go as planned. You sent invitations to his whole class. What is about 32 kids, right?
Yeah, 32.
And nobody showed up?
No one.
Word quickly spread of Teddy's lonely birthday party, and social media lit up with birthday greetings. Then the Phoenix Suns really stepped up. They've invited Teddy to his first basketball game ever tomorrow night. How about we celebrate with thousands at our place, the team tweeted. The happy 6-year-old has this response.
Thank you all for the birthday wishes. Biggest.
Did you know there's a right way and a wrong way to eat an apple?
That's the wrong way.
It is.
Yeah, so the average person eats an apple like that and they waste 30% of it. I'm gonna show you a better way.
Okay.
So instead of eating from the side, you take a bite right from the bottom.
Food expert Alejandra Ramos showed Megan Alexander the right way.
So when you bite the apple from the bottom, the core actually kind of disappears. Because you're eating, the core is thicker at the top than it is at the bottom, so you can eat all the way up to the top and just spit out the seeds.
Taking a nice hot shower can be an invigorating part of your day, but it's also potentially dangerous.
Do people injure themselves getting into and out of the shower? Is that most common, or can it be really doing anything?
Both scenarios, entering the shower, showering, and exiting the shower.
Emergency room doctor Ahmed Rashed says our 33-year-old model is just as much at risk as any elderly person.
It's not uncommon to see hip fractures or head injuries, which can be fatal.
He told me about some very common hazards.
Soap, conditioner, shampoo, residue accumulates on the shower floor.
Experts recommend getting accessories to help prevent a fall. Things like a grab handle, just like this one, and a non-slip mat.
Showers can also generate steam that might make you dizzy or lightheaded.
Just sit on the floor. Don't lean against the toilet because you can fall off the toilet. Off the toilet, hit your head on the sink.
53 years ago, a plane disappeared in Vermont, not to be seen again, until now. On a snowy night in January of 1971, a small corporate jet carrying 5 people mysteriously vanished. It never arrived at its destination, Providence, Rhode Island. Dozens of searches ensued, but the plane and its passengers and crew were never spotted. Experts now believe they've found the wreckage of the long-lost jet at the bottom of Lake Champlain. The lake froze over 4 days after the plane was lost, making search and recovery nearly impossible. The National Transportation Safety Board is investigating to verify if it is the plane. Family members of the victims say they plan to hold a memorial now that they know the plane's location.
Oh my God. Donnie, stand up.
Little Donnie got himself into a pickle. Actually, a pineapple-themed stool from Michael's.
I was just going to take a picture to send to my mom and to post on Facebook because I thought he was just being Donnie. But I started to take him out and he wasn't, like, the top half of him would come out, but that's it.
She says other family members tried their hand at freeing Donnie, but to no avail. That's when they decided to call 911 for backup.
The fire chief, he was like, put your hands over your head. And Donnie doesn't listen. But this one time, he stuck his hands up and he still wasn't going anywhere.
Ebony says she didn't capture the moment Donnie was sprung from the container, but she says he just started running around the house like nothing happened.
Donkeys can make great pets. Just ask Terry Drury. But 5 years ago, Terry lost her favorite donkey named Diesel. The donkey ran off during a hike after getting scared by a mountain lion. How long did you search for Diesel?
Oh my gosh, it was months.
Max Fennell was out hunting in Auburn, California, when he saw something so strange. It was a herd of elk.
I just bumped these elk, and there's a donkey with them. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a donkey with them. I was like, this is the weirdest thing. Like, it was clear that the donkey was a part of the herd. Like, they moved together.
Yes, that's Diesel, the long-lost missing donkey. And he's apparently moved up in life. Diesel has apparently earned his exalted status as the herd's new alpha male.
A suspected burglar is being chased out of a house with a frying pan? It happened when Chicago homeowner Jason Williams got an alert from his security camera that an intruder had broken into his house.
Came in the house, I looked, if there was an available weapon. There was a frying pan laying there, so I grabbed the frying pan.
There he is, chasing the suspect out the front porch with a frying pan at the ready. The homeowner takes another swing as the suspected burglar opens the fence and flees. Not so fast, here come the cops. He posted this shot of the frying pan, still dented where it hit the guy on the noggin. Jason celebrated his victory with a special dinner, making swordfish basted in butter and garlic with asparagus, pan-fried of course.
Now this guy who lives in Las Vegas has some explaining to do. He was asked on live TV what he'd do if he won $1 billion jackpot.
Bunch of hookers and cocaine.
Not the answer anyone was expecting. What were you thinking?
I wasn't thinking. I'm just I don't know if I can say this, but I'm a smart ass.
Isaac Carranza's wife says she's taking it all in stride.
I thought it was hilarious.
Guys, get off the hammock.
Just relaxing, this bear decided to chill on a hammock in a Vermont home's backyard, with another bear watching with delight. The bears seemed to stay put until they were scolded.
Guys, get off the hammock. Hey!
And then, finally, decided to listen.
A moose calf fell in a lake and got stuck between a dock and a float plane in Alaska. As the mother moose and another baby looked on, a homeowner and officers from the Homer Police Department reached into the water and pulled the calf out. The little one struggled to get to its feet, but eventually ran back to mommy.
Richland Cemetery in Pennsylvania has created a way for grievers to connect with loved ones who have passed.
As they visit, they can stop and use the phone to make a call to their loved ones, say the things they want to say, tell them about their day. Maybe there have been grandchildren born, or any kind of news. It's really just to connect.
The idea was inspired by an installation in Japan that helps people grieve tsunami victims.
My grounds crew said that they have seen people at the phone using it. So I think that's really special. It's really neat that they feel comfortable enough to use it. Our commitment to the people who have entrusted care to us doesn't end with the last shovel of dirt on the grave, so to speak.
What is Inside Edition? It's this. And this. And this. And also this. It's sometimes this. It's never this. But it always brings you more to the story. And now it's always available. Inside Edition.
A multi-car crash puts a Virginia State police officer in the hospital. This is the jarring video of the incident that took place in the early morning. The trooper was talking to the driver of the car she pulled over when all of a sudden another car crashes into her patrol car and sends her to the ground. Both drivers were arrested and charged in connection with driving under the influence.
Las Vegas Metro Search and Rescue spotted this mysterious monolith just north of the city in Gas Peak. The Las Vegas Metro Police Department shared video writing, "We see a lot of weird things when people go hiking, like not being prepared for the weather, not bringing enough water. But check this out. It looks awfully similar to the monolith that popped up in the next state over a few years ago."
That's just wild.
What the heck is that?
This 12-foot-tall structure was spotted in the Utah desert in November of 2020.
The intrepid explorers go down to investigate the alien life form.
That monolith was later removed by adventure tour guide Sylvan Christensen out of concern for the environmental damage caused by all the visitors coming to see the wonder. As for this in Las Vegas, the police department hopes the clever internet solves the mystery.
Alice and Joshua are dealing with an unimaginable loss. The death of their preteen daughter, Flora.
She was just a very loving girl.
The bullying began shortly after Flora started 6th grade in Las Vegas, Nevada this past fall.
She sent us screenshots of the conversations that she was seeing. And I don't understand how these kids learn these things. It's not something that, you or I would even think of to say. And these little 12-year-olds are just throwing it out there, spewing venom. I don't know where they, learn to be so hateful at such a young age.
I believe there was some pictures that a little boy posted of her and was just saying how ugly she was.
To watch the full story, click below or head over to InsideEdition.com.
The best and worst thing about having a puppy, they're full of energy. And Sadie from Old Bridge, New Jersey is blowing off steam by attacking paper towels. At first, it looks like the cat is stepping in to help, but decides against it. It's all fun and games and lots of zoomies, until Sadie is eventually caught red-handed by the fun police.
You're a little piranha. Oh, he's a little piranha.
It's a battle between dog and man in New Jersey.
He's a little piranha, isn't he?
At first, it's an even fight between Colin and Winston the puppy.
Oh, you're going crazy. What are you doing?
But then, things get intense. The bird gets in on the action.
Hey.
So does the carpet.
Guys, he's not stopping. Jeez.
Finally, Winston's puppy strength takes over.
He's pulling me on the carpet.
And he is victorious.
You're fine, Alex.
It's the photo that turned a checkout boy into a check him out boy and an instant global celebrity.
I was so shocked.
16-year-old Alex Lee still can't believe how fast he became famous when this photo, snapped by a customer at a Target store in Texas, went viral last year.
I went back to work one day, and I was only on the cash register for 10 minutes, and they had to take me to the back. Everyone was noticing me, and every person that came through my line would ask for a picture, so it would take too long.
He couldn't be happier with his skyrocketing popularity as Alex from Target.
Police body cam captured a tense scene in Texas. Officers from the Carrollton PD responded to a noise complaint. There was drum and bass.
Man, I don't want to get in on this party. They're having a good time.
Officers approached a civilian.
Hi. How are you? Doing good. What are you celebrating?
Graduation. And she made them an offer they did not want to refuse.
You want to get some food?
No.
See the band. And so, the men in blue joined the graduation party.
U-turn.
After tearing it up, it was time to go.
I'm out of here. All right, we gotta get back to work.
But one officer took a little of the party with him.
Man, we can stay there all night. Let's go!
Thrill seekers fly through the air like birds during a skydive. But look, that guy's cell phone is about to fall out of his pocket at 12,000 feet. And there it goes, off into the wild blue yonder. Where it'll land is anyone's guess. 27-year-old Frank Carbolito returned to Earth, never realizing his phone was gone.
I had to go back through the camera and probably go back and forth trying to find that exact second where it fell out of my pocket.
Then he'd used the Find My Device feature to locate his phone's exact coordinates in Zephyr Hills, Florida. The following day, with his mom's phone in hand, he hops on his bike, following a path through the woods.
I'm really close to it, so I'm gonna give it a call.
And bingo, his Samsung Galaxy is right there.
And I was surprised that it was intact. Like there was just nothing wrong with it, and it still had 65% battery. Still working, yeah. Everything works perfectly fine.
It's a magical moment at an airport as a father greets a daughter he has never met.
This is my daughter, number 19.
That's right, Michael Rubino has 19 children. They range in age from 16 to 21. Michael Rubino isn't raising these 19 kids. He was the sperm donor for their moms. In his 30s, Michael, an artist, decided to become a donor to help others start families. Most donors remain anonymous, not Michael.
I want to put in my file there a letter saying, just so that we're clear on this, if any turn up at any time, I'm available. So I was looking forward to it.
As soon as I wrote him a letter, he wrote me one back like instantly.
Before Michael knew it, more and more kids started contacting him.
All my siblings, they're all so sweet and just fun to get to know.
The siblings zeroed in on their similarities.
And I could just tell we're all kind of bubbly, just have the same energy.
A squirrel is trapped inside a kiddie pool, and this woman is coming to the rescue.
Don't touch him.
I need gloves.
Don't touch him.
I have to help him.
She tries a chair.
I'm saving you. Let me save you!
It works.
Thank you.
Sort of.
A man throws a Molotov cocktail over the fence and into a homeowner's yard. Police in Slidell, Louisiana say a utility shed is set on fire and the suspect walks away. Thankfully, the fire was put out quickly by the homeowner. No one was hurt. The suspect was later arrested for arson.
What do you get when a tanker truck full of chocolate sauce spills all over the road? A big, sticky mess. The truck carrying a shipment of liquid chocolate overturned on a highway in Poland, spreading 6 lanes with a sugary sludge. It stopped traffic in both directions. It was almost as if it had been raining chocolate. Road crews got to work, scooping, scraping, and spraying. We hope someone thought to bring in ice cream and rainbow sprinkles. Fortunately, the only injury in the accident was the truck's driver, who was taken to a hospital with a broken arm. Cleaning the cooling chocolate will require lots of hot water. Officials say the candy blob will be harder to clean than an oil spill, but a whole lot sweeter.
15-year-old Jordan Broderick was floating on an inflatable tube at a popular swimming hole in Florida's Ocala National Forest when a huge 9-foot gator zeroed in on her. She grabbed a tree branch hanging over the water and pulled herself up, clinging on for dear life.
She's in the tree. She got in the tree to get out of the water. There's gators on land and in the water right under her. Oh my God, please hurry, please hurry. We can't get her out. Please, she's 15.
How far out into the water is she?
She's like, I don't know, 500 feet down the water, but it's not in the lightning and everything. Please hurry up.
The minutes tick by, and Jordan's mom grew more frantic. Her daughter can't hold on much longer.
Oh my God, my daughter's gonna be dead.
Finally, after 30 minutes, a deputy arrives and steps into the water. Get this, the gator tried to attack him too. He was forced to open fire. The gator was dead. A terrifying ordeal.
17-year-old Michael Dumas was on the beach in Pompano Beach, Florida, when his buddies buried him. He didn't know it at the time, but lurking in the sand were tiny parasites, hookworms. They burrowed into Michael's foot and crawled under his skin. Yep, it's as nasty as it sounds. As the hookworms crawled under his skin, Michael developed painful sores that became infected. So, how did the hookworms get on the beach? They most likely came from an infected dog who did his business in the sand. Dermatologist Dr. Doris Day.
The kid gets buried in the sand, they have a break in the skin, it gets into the skin, and you can kind of see it crawling underneath the skin.
Punishment for the teen who pushed her friend off a bridge. 19-year-old Taylor Smith was in tears as she was escorted away in handcuffs after being sentenced to 2 days in jail. The ruling surprised both sides. Taylor had pled guilty to reckless endangerment, and prosecutors recommended no jail time. But the judge refused to go along.
Jordan, I'm gonna push you. No.
This is the moment Taylor pushed Jordan Holgerson off the bridge in Washington State last August.
Ready?
Jordan plunged 60 feet into the water, landing chest first. She suffered 6 broken ribs and punctured lungs. At the sentencing, Taylor said she was sorry.
I'd like to sincerely apologize to Jordan Holgerson, her family, and friends for the pain and humiliation I have caused by my mindless action that occurred last summer.
Then off she went to jail for 2 days.
Taylor Smith was also ordered to spend 38 days on a work crew.
10-year-old Mato was up in the middle of the night playing video games when he heard an unusual sounding beep in their West Virginia home. Their smoke detector was beeping for carbon monoxide. Whitney rushed her family of 7 outside, called 911, and waited for the fire department. Gas from their pool heater was seeping into the house.
He said, you guys would have probably had about 30-40 minutes left. He was definitely a hero because if he would have ignored it, you know what I mean, he would have went to sleep too eventually and we wouldn't have never been here.
Powerful stories. Impactful investigations.
How many times has your car been stolen?
5 times. Yeah.
What? And a little bit of fun.
There's bears in the pool!
On Inside Edition streaming.
In Marvel's Avengers, no one is able to pick up Thors Hammer but the superhero himself. Now this guy has built his own Thors Hammer, and like the legend, only he can lift it.
Go for it. Let's see if you're worthy.
Watch as one person after another attempts to lift Alan Penn's hammer. It won't budge, not even close. One by one, they all fail miserably.
That is high. Is it like stuck underneath?
Now watch as Alan steps up to the plate. Easy peasy, and everyone's amazed. So does Alan have superhuman strength? Not even close. But he does have a big brain. He's an engineer and built the hammer with a powerful electromagnet that locks against metal surfaces. His secret is that he installed a fingerprint scanner that only recognizes him.
This is the fingerprint scanner that's actually in the handle. The magnet will turn off if a fingerprint on the fingerprint scanner matches with mine.
Faye the dog found herself trapped in a scary situation, but thankfully, some firefighters got her out. According to her human family, Faye climbed into an access door outside their Orange County, California home. This is what they told KCBS.
I tried to get a fork with like chicken on it and reach out my arm, so I thought she would like turn around and try to eat it. But she didn't do that either, so I knew like something was wrong.
After 2 hours of trying to coax Faye out, the Nguyen family reached out to the fire department.
Come on. Come on, girl.
Faye seemed a bit hesitant at first, but once the drywall was removed, she walked out of the wall that held her for hours. Some of the firefighters who helped with this unusual rescue were reunited with Faye and the Nguyen family.
That's the beauty of this job is every day something different, and we come together as a team and come up with a plan and get the job done.
Do you hear Yanny?
Laurel.
Or Laurel?
Laurel.
A frenzy erupted after it was posted on Twitter. Inside Edition staffers were divided about what they were hearing.
Definitely Laurel.
Yanny.
Yanny. Yeah. It's Laurel.
So, what's going on?
We're here in the Inside Edition audio booth with our engineer, Michael. Michael, let's play it once and decide what we hear.
Roll it, please, Matt.
Laurel. Laurel.
Stop.
Laurel.
Okay, I hear Laurel. What do you hear?
Laurel.
Laurel.
But listen to what happens when we take out the bass.
Laurel. Laurel.
Okay, when the bass is way down, I can hear both. I actually can maybe see why some people could hear Yanny. How about you?
I still hear just Laurel.
This Houston, Texas dog is very upset.
The Nook.
The Nook didn't want to be left alone
It's okay. We'll be home soon.
and gave his owners a piece of his mind.
It's okay. It's all right. It's okay.
How could they leave such a sweet pup? In this argument, we're Team Nanook.
I love you. I love you too. It's okay. Oh, Nanook. We'll be home. Don't cry. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
This man took self-service to a whole new level. Alex Bowen snapped these selfies as he whipped up a late-night snack at a Waffle House when no one was there to take his order.
I noticed one employee sleeping there on that bar, and I thought about waking her up, but then I said, this employee's probably tired.
So he walked to the kitchen and cooked himself a giant Texas bacon cheese steak melt. He gobbled the meal down and then left the Waffle House in West Columbia, South Carolina. Waffle House only became aware of what happened when he posted these photos on social media. Waffle House management was not happy, suspending the sleeping employee, but adding, obviously Alex has some cooking skills, and we'd like to talk to him about a job since we may have something for him.
They haven't formally offered me a job yet.
And do you think you'll take him up on that?
Absolutely, ma'am. Waffle House for life.
If you've ever thought your hair was unmanageable, check out these little girls. 2-year-olds Kira White, Jaylee Lamb, and Charlie Yore have a rare genetic disorder called Pili trianguli et canaliculi, also known as Uncombable hair syndrome. All 3 girls were born with little or no hair. When it finally grew in, their parents knew something was up.
It would just stick straight out like she had just stuck her finger in a light socket. We would comb it, try to comb it down, pop right back up.
Uncombable hair syndrome is typically diagnosed between birth and age 3, and the hair is almost always white or strawberry blonde. There are only about 100 documented cases worldwide. It's thought that Albert Einstein might have had the condition. While it is a nuisance, it's actually benign, and kids often grow out of it during puberty. Straight or wild, these moms and their little ones are embracing the Tut's hair just the way it is.
Your hair's so pretty.
This is 19-year-old Jonathan Bast jumping into Martins Creek Quarry in Pennsylvania. He looked like he was having a great time. But then, tragedy struck.
John decided he wanted to swim across the water. Within 5 minutes, they said, Jonathan screamed for help. And he came up 3 times, and he went back down.
John's mom, Sally, still can't believe her son is gone. She's kept his room exactly as it was on the day he died. The year anniversary is coming up in a few weeks.
The shirt he was wearing when he went down.
Then Sally found out that her son was the second young man to die in the quarry that year. Something was very wrong, she decided. Now she's on a crusade to tell the world about the dangers of swimming in quarries.
Everything just kind of shut off. I gave up. I was there's no point to anything. I'm done.
Caitlin Palmieri is putting her life back together after learning her ex-fiance wasn't who she thought he was.
I woke up to the hotel phone ringing. I know my mom well enough. And then I just said, I'm not doing anything until you tell me what's going on. And she said, Eric died in the middle of the night. That was the morning of the wedding. November 2020 was his birthday. And the first thing I see is the dedication is about spending his last birthday together and how it was this great night. So I reach out to her and I'm like, I'm just confused. Did you know Eric? What was your relationship with him? And then she told me. I met an angry side of me that I had never met before. After this, I officially owe him nothing.
It's 3 bears hanging out in the front yard, and a horrible nightmare is about to unfold.
A big and nasty surprise is awaiting a German shepherd named Zeus as he returns home from a walk with his owner. It's the mama bear, and she's not happy. The owner freaks out as the bear chases Zeus down the long driveway. Bailey Jacobson screamed as loud as she could. She didn't think twice about trying to come to Zeus's rescue. Her screams caused the bear to stop chasing Zeus. But then something unexpected happened.
I realized she made that 180 turn to look back at me and then realized she was coming towards me. And that's where I realized that, oh crap, like I have to get back home too.
But where's Zeus, her 6-year-old German shepherd? Here's Zeus. For a moment, Bailey wasn't sure when he'd ever return home.
It was a very harrowing time. I was, cried almost every hour that we were there.
When she was 20 years old, professional rock climber Beth Rhoden was kidnapped and held hostage. She was on a trip to the other side of the world with her boyfriend and a few other people when it happened.
We were on a climbing expedition to Kyrgyzstan, and about 2 weeks into our trip, we were shot at while we were on a wall. We went down and it was apparent that, we were being taken hostage.
Did they hurt you?
No, they never hurt us.
After such a harrowing ordeal, it took a year before she climbed again. This one in 2019 on one of the world's most famous mountains, Yosemite National Park's El Capitan in California.
It was the smoky smell of barbecue that lured this alleged thief to his loot. Cops in Eau Claire, Wisconsin have dubbed this man the Brisket Bandit because they say he swiped a 12-pound slab of beef that was slow cooking in a stranger's backyard. While you can't really blame him, it's still wrong. Anyone with information can alert Crime Stoppers or the police department's non-emergency line.
A California woman has more Hello Kitty items than she even knows.
That I don't know. I don't know.
Let's just say the number is in the tens of thousands. Enough Hello Kitty memorabilia to fill a she shed outside Helen's house. She told KCBS it started with a tiny item.
That's the eraser I think that that started my obsession.
Helen stores her massive collection in a temperature-controlled mini museum where shoe covers are required.
We just have to put booties on.
Hello Kitty is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year. What started in 1974 as a drawing on a vinyl coin purse has grown into an empire that includes clothing, school supplies, movies, and even theme parks. And though Hello Kitty has been marketed to children and preteens, Helen says the white cat with the big bow and no visible mouth is for everyone. What is Inside Edition? It's this. And this. And this. And also this. It's sometimes this. It's never this. But it always brings you more to the story. And now it's always available. Inside Edition.